Hello, folks. This is Jeffrey Fox again. I'm the instructor for Big Data Applications and Analytics, or X-Informatics, and this is the unit on the Internet of Things and Sensors. And we're at lesson 2 with examples of robotics and Internet of Things expectations. So that's what this thing says here, lesson 2 of the section/unit on the Internet of Things and Sensors. One of the most really interesting areas of big data, which is rapidly changing. So here's a pretty interesting plot which comes from this wonderful source, Business Intelligence. And it's the size of the Internet of Things. We pointed out there's all sorts of different estimates of this, and this one's up at 34 billion by 2019. And what's interesting about this is sort of actually we're now sort of here. We were there. We should say there. We were there. Okay. But we have these known things: personal computers, smartphones, which are actually the largest of the named objects, tablets, smart TVs, wearables, pretty small, surprisingly. Connected cars, well, that's not too surprising. Although I actually am waiting to buy my next car, I will wait till it's fully connected. Having had waiting for many years for one that's got decent battery and things and given up. But what's remarkable is the growth in the green. The green is the one that's growing fast. And this is unlabeled. So what is it? Well, it's drones, robots, tags attached to polar bears. Who knows what it is? I'm not quite certain. That's one of my questions. But anyway, it's pretty interesting to see how big it's growing. It's growing by, in 1919, it's estimated to be 24 billion devices. And the total of the rest is more like 10. So here are some examples they give. Here we have a frightening looking security guard. What would happen if you dropped your cookie wrapper on the floor of a Microsoft campus? It would arrest you and shut you up in a Windows prison. They have a really strong threat there. Windows prison. Okay, fine. So anyway, that's a robotic security guard from Microsoft. This is more interesting in the sense that we have this concept of using robots inside warehouses. And here is a whole array of amazing robots. Numbers. Robot number 1512, probably 1512 in this particular warehouse complex. Anyway, it's meant to be saving $900 million annually by using such robots. And the next slide shows a remarkable quantification of this. So here is the number of these Kiva robots. Amazon purchased Kiva systems, and I gather it's made a huge positive impact. Anyway, here we are, end of 2014, 15,000 of those robots or similar robots. And whenever you call something in, these robots will scurry around and do your thing. It's pretty interesting. Actually, that reminds me, I was reading today a report from what happened in the Christmas season, and at least in New York, where Amazon offers very quick turnaround, the final thing delivered was ordered at a little after 10 p.m. on Christmas Day, and it was delivered about 1 hour later by Amazon's express delivery system. So that shows how, that shows the trend in this online world that we're trying to merge the benefits of driving in your own car, which is of course not so easy in New York maybe, and with the advantages of the online choice and the ability to sit with your feet up as well, you wouldn't in the past. You will be watching TV with the feet up, but now you would actually, of course, be using your TV caster to cast your streaming video onto your 100-inch screen and watching whatever you wanted to watch at that time of night. Okay, some comment about floor cleaning robots from company iRobot. and it estimates by around now that they will have there will be a total of 8 million home robots for cleaning. Pretty interesting number. It's just it's sort of when it's all these things have happened in the last 2 or 3 years. Pretty interesting. Remember, look, this is 2010, so not so long ago. And of course, we know the importance of drones. Drones have revolutionized warfare, but they can also revolutionize civilian life by buzzing around and, I say, dropping dynamically your products. And again, I read recently one of the attractions of drones is that if Amazon looks at what it delivers, most of what it delivers don't weigh more than a few pounds, and those are pretty easy to put on a drone. So this concept of drones is pretty interesting. Now again, it looks as though DoD's got a lock on it. It's got $10 billion worth of lock, whereas civilian is only a couple of $1 billion, even in 2023. Here I make a prediction. I think this is underestimating the importance of civilian drones, but that's just me. I just think that if we can just get past those conservative people who regulate it, and that won't happen in Europe. Europe's dominated by regulation, but here there's some chance we might be able to do it. And of course, in China, it's bound to happen. So drones are going to be important some parts of the world, at least the parts that are going to be the leading parts of the world. And here are some examples of drones. This is pretty nifty. Amazon Prime Air with this little delivery. And here's a DHL and another major package deliverer. And these are all, I think they all look like quadcopters. These are quadcopters, whether this is quad or 1, 2, 3. This might be a hexacopter. There are all these interesting, it's sort of interesting that drones are always built around these multiple rotating engines, whereas of course traditional helicopters have just had one or possibly two, one at each end. But these small devices are built around different principles. I don't quite understand the aerodynamics as to why you have such rather different approaches, but it's still pretty exciting to see what's going on. And so that's the end of this short section on why robots and the Internet of Things are so exciting and why they have lots of nifty applications. And please don't get locked up in a Windows prison. Anything more than that. Actually, it's probably equally bad to be in an Android prison, but at least should be in a modern prison if you were locked up in an Android prison. So, okay, that's it. Thank you very much from Geoffrey Fox.